cancer was the best thing to ever happen to me.
So, Connor, you had quite a surprise recently in your life.
I did, yes.
Yeah, you found out you had cancer. And I can't even imagine what it must have been like. What was your reaction when you found out?
So on March 1st, I was at school and I was like having stomach pains, but I was actually like doubling over in pain. So that's when I called my mom, and I'd missed so much school at that point that she was like, we're going to the ER.
Okay.
So
tough mom.
yeah. So we went to Providence Urgent Care. So I had to call out of work and all that thing. I was a week into my first job, so that was great.
Okay.
And then they kind of like have this look on their face. They said, so we didn't find appendicitis. We did find a 9 by 12 centimeter mass behind your stomach. And so my mom's face just like shrunk and just like, it's like dead of night. And they bring me up and they actually show us the CAT scan. And if you don't know how, like, takes pictures of like different layers of your body. So they show us this and it's like going through like my shoulders and like down my chest. And then it gets to where your stomach is. And then there's just this black mass just getting gigantic. And it's like taking up half my stomach. And they discovered that it was 2 tumors actually. And they're both fairly big. The first night I was in OHSU, when they had actually taken me up there, was when everything kind of sunk in. So I like honestly had my come to God moment where I was just like, in my head, you got to take it seriously, because if things don't go well, you could die. And it was kind of just that feeling that, you know, every teenager thinks they're invincible and like they've got 50 years until they even got to worry about dying. And then it was just, here I am in this hospital room and I could be dead in the next year. Truth be told, that was like the only real time that I kind of like got all sullen about it.
Yeah.
So
you snapped out of that.
Oh, absolutely. Next morning I was like, hey, I have cancer to everyone. And for the record, I still do that. I'll just go up to random people and just be like, hi, my name's Connor. I have cancer. Probably the biggest high in the moment type of thing was after I got surgery exactly a month and a half after we found it. Like, we found it on March 1st and I had surgery on April 15th, which is Good Friday too. So that was a bit of a coincidence, or that was, you know, God's making sure everything's going to go well. So that was probably the biggest highs where they were like, this is treatable. I would say the biggest low was during the first like couple months when they were like specifically talking about what kind of cancer I have. And at OHSU, the main oncologist was like, I've seen 8 people who've had this and none of them have been even close to how young you are. Just hearing about how rare and like unknowledgeable about my cancer everyone was, at least at OHSU, was really kind of heartbreaking. The truth is, honestly, I've been in almost no physical pain aside from after surgeries. I've had 2 surgeries and it's been the worst pain of my life. But
really?
Oh, absolutely. It's the best way. My first surgery was on April 15th, and that's when they took out 85% of my stomach.
Wow.
Because that's how much of the tumor that's how much they needed to take to get just the bigger tumor out. And the first time I was able to eat cheeseburger, I was like, thank you, God. Yeah. Their biggest goal was to not have to take my entire stomach. Like, you know, when you don't have something for a while, it makes you think about how much you miss it. Yeah, for that, it was movement and being able to use my stomach muscles, because I couldn't like lean up. I couldn't even push myself up. It was just so much. Because I've always been rocky in my faith. And I think that almost everyone who's religious has at least one moment of just give me a sign, show me you're there, give me a reason to believe. And mine was very subtle in the sense of, if you're not looking for it, you're not going to see it, which I think is a lot of the ways that God helps people is, you know, you have to open your eyes to see where he's helping. The first and biggest thing that I saw was people like actually messaging me and my mom saying like, are you guys okay? Or if there's anything you need, let us know. When we started realizing like how much money the bills were going to be, we opened up a GoFundMe, and really quickly, like not a small amount of money started coming in, and it was just, you know, it was just like thousands upon thousands of like money from people who I didn't realize that I had impacted, because it wasn't just people from church, like, you know, doing their good deed for the day. It was like people from my Taekwondo studio and like the parents of kids who I had like helped teach, and just people who I had honestly forgotten the names of. And I have no idea who these people are, and like the money just keeps coming in with like messages of like, thank you, Connor means so much to us. And that's like that was like my moment of just like, this is God, like showing me that even in the darkest of times, he's here and he's going to provide. Most people, you know, with something as life-threatening or life-altering as a very fatal disease, their first thought is just like, I'm helpless and nothing can help me now. And I didn't want to be like that. I didn't want to treat my cancer like, I didn't want it to bring me down or everyone else down about it. So that's why I've kept this humor, like this level of lightheartedness. And some people are even like put off by it, because, you know, not every day that you see someone making a joke about cancer when they have it. And and I like being that person, like, that's a cancer kid, like, oh, I feel so bad for him. It's like, no, he's funny, like, go talk to him. Even after just giving so much of myself, metaphorically and physically, he's given it back tenfold in the support we've gotten, all our donations, and giving me this attitude and helping me keep this confidence that things are going to go well.
Man, we're so proud of you. I mean, like, really, for me, watching this is, you know, watching your story is inspirational, because it reminds me that God calls us more than conquerors, you know, more than overcomers. And we're seeing that in you.
Laughter is one of the most important things in life. Is if everyone's sad about something, no one's going to fix it. So I tried to be uplifting about it. And again, I didn't want to keep that sadness, because I don't think sadness is productive. So I was like, am I going to just sit here and cry about it, or am I going to make myself and make others feel better about it?
What do you envision next in terms of what do you want to share with people? What message do you want to send people? What's on your heart?
The biggest thing that I want people to know is, just because you have something in your life so life-threatening or just life-altering in a negative sense, it doesn't have to be the end of your world, and it doesn't have to define who you are for the rest of your life. It doesn't have to bring you down and just make you this husk of what you were before. And I think that no matter how terrible something is, you can use that as like a stepping stool to become a better and better person. Even if you lose your arm, you're able to make people laugh. Like, can I get a hand over here? With whatever you need. It's just, even like the darkest situations, you can find light out of it. What I tell people who go through hard times is, I say, the easiest way to see light is in complete darkness. Is even in complete darkness, a single match you're gonna see it from a mile away. And so that's all people need to do, is to, like, if it's dark, to not close your eyes, keep your eyes open, and you can see, like, even if it's small, just that light can start a fire and light the way. And I think that's also what God does, is he helps you see that light even when you're in darkness, and he's the biggest light of all.
Incredible, man. Thank you. Thanks for sharing.
Because there's been so many times where I'm like, would it be easier to give up? Would it be like less of a burden on my family and everyone else if I just like laid down and died? But then, like, almost immediately after, I'm snapped out of it and just like, this is what you want to do with your life. This is what you can do to help other people. And like, there's a reason for you to live.